Hello everyone, and welcome back. This week we're designing a Seawing-Icewing hybrid, and boy did he turn out gorgeous. I've really been into more warm or earth tone palettes lately, so getting back to an iconic blue color set today was really enjoyable for me. So this is Frostbite. I really wanted to name him Tempest, which I think is a much better name, but unfortunately that name was already used in a winglet, and I didn't want to see the dozens of comments explaining that to me, so I picked another name. I picked Frostbite because the way I ended up coloring his wings kind of makes them look like they have ice creeping up over their edges, which I think is neat. Although it wasn't my intent, I think this design ended up looking a little bit like a blue tone tiger reference, but I actually wasn't going for that at all. The stripes kind of just snuck their way into the design toward the end, because I was looking to add some color contrast for a little bit of shock value. Honestly, this whole design is just so pretty to me. I was a little worried I was going too dark with the darker blue tones, but that ended up working out really well. Frostbite's design leans pretty Icewing, I think, especially in his body structure. He's a little broader than I usually go for with Icewing designs, so that leans more in a Seawing direction. Other than that, though, the only indication that he's a hybrid, beyond his coloring, are the fins on his jaw, his horns, the few glowing scales he has, and the webbing on his tail. I think it's so funny how I go into these designs. For this week, I literally had no inspiration, no plans, just the intention to draw a blue dragon. I knew it would be a Seawing something, so I just picked a tribe that I felt like would give me color freedom without adding other colors into the mix, so the white tribe it was. And it's amazing how during the sketch process, especially, things just come to me, and I begin to build a mental idea of his features, how I'll color them later, and how that all plays off his personality. Now, his coloring is a different story. I think that makes it much more obvious that he's a hybrid. Although we've seen Icewings with darker scales, like Lynx for instance with her freckles, it's certainly not to the extent Frostbite has. Finally, as far as powers go, since he doesn't have any fire breathing in his ancestry, Frostbite once again leans Icewing with his abilities. He can't breathe underwater since he doesn't have gills, although he does handle the northern waters much better than Seawings or Icewings. He handles the temperatures better than his mother's tribe, and he navigates the water more easily than his father's tribe. I think he does have ice breath, but it's very weak, and it really only works when he's in the north or during the winter. He has a very difficult time drawing it up when it's warmer out. I have a better idea of his personality than I do of his backstory for this design. I think Frostbite tends toward this dry sort of humor that can be a little fatalistic at times, but is guaranteed to get a laugh from his friends. He grew up in the Ice Kingdom with his dad, living in the farthest outskirts since the rigid Icewing society didn't exactly appreciate his uniqueness as anything good. Growing up that way, isolated and feeling as if dragons disliked him for something he couldn't control, Frostbite learned to laugh instead of cry, though his humor runs grim sometimes. Eventually, though, he left the Ice Kingdom, deciding to head south and see what he could see. He finally made a couple friends near Jade Mountain Academy, which is a much more accepting environment for hybrids. Frostbite is a taller guy, and with his odd look, he can sometimes seem intimidating when other dragons first meet him, especially since he doesn't treat just anyone to his humor. Until he gets to know you, he's exactly the quiet, stoic type you'd expect an Icewing to be. That demeanor, coupled with his height, makes it all the more surprising when he'll interrupt a conversation he's listened to quietly for 20 minutes with a well-placed bit of laconic sarcasm. He's that guy, you know the one, who's so chill and calm that when he turns around and whips out the funniest joke, you do a double take just because it's so shocking. Frostbite enjoys reading, though he prefers fiction to nonfiction. He's come to enjoy reading some of Queen Coral's works, among others. Her writing is easily accessible, and since he's never visited the Sea Kingdom where his unknown mother comes from, he finds a feeling of connection to the other half of his heritage through the stories. Although he's toyed with the idea of visiting the Sea Kingdom, the fact that he can't breathe underwater keeps him from attempting to. He claims it'd be too much trouble for too little reward, and that anyways he can always chat with the Seawings who attend Jade Mountain Academy or live nearby. However, he keeps the true reason close to his chest, even sometimes denying it to himself. Frostbite is afraid of rejection. His father's tribe didn't want him, but he made peace with that and eventually found connections. He fears that searching out his mother's tribe would only open another opportunity for dragons to scorn him, especially since he can't even join them underwater, and Frostbite doesn't want to put himself in that situation. This is a worry he keeps to himself, though, sometimes without even acknowledging its existence. He's a great hunter, and very athletic in general. He and his father lived outside of most towns and villages, so they did all their own hunting and foraging, and especially as his father got older, Frostbite took on lots of responsibility to keep him in good health. Learning to hunt animals found outside the Ice Kingdom presented an enjoyable challenge for him when he first ventured south. Overall, Frostbite is a dragon who likes to be active and enjoys spending time with others, even if you might not guess so at first. He may not participate in every conversation, or be as loud or excitable as some of his friends, but he's content to be in their company and enjoy the feeling of camaraderie and the stories and jokes they share. Again, I really love how this design turned out. The colors are both beautiful and sharp in the way they blend in some places and contrast in others. And I like how his build turned out too. It's a good marriage of height and muscle. Anyways, if you're interested in adopting Frostbite, he will be up for auction over on my DeviantArt, although I have considered keeping him, but he'll be available until noon tomorrow. So you can check out the link in the description if you want to take a peek or make a bid in the auction. If you enjoyed this video, I have other design videos up in the series, so you can take a look if you're interested there. Feel free to drop a like or a comment if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want to see more. Also in the description are links to my Redbubble and my store, which are both places where you can buy merch to help support me, which I really appreciate. I'm doing Christmas mystery boxes right now with some exclusive content that turned out super cute, so that's out there too. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a blessed day.